Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm going to try this once again. It was going too long and my computer didn't have enough room and it shut down and I lost the whole video. So I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully the messages will be as good as they were the first time. It is March 31st, 2019. This is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. And the 31 of today is all about the Five of Wands, which is, it's a 31-4, but it represents the Five of Wands, which is expansion. It's conflict, it's competition, but it's all around that expansion energy. The day adds up to 46, which is the Six of Cups. So it's very much about the children in the garden, so about your children. There may be some athletic competitions or some kind of physical activity going on today, or it could be about the twins as well and your expansion in that realm. So as we get into the masculine read, it was done at 9:05 this morning, 9:05 to 9:06. And the major arcana from the Sirian Starseed deck were Luna, which is the moon, Indigo, which is the magician, Reflection, which is the hermit, and Starseed, which is usually the fool. There were 2 cups, 3 pentacles, and 2 swords. The court cards were the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Swords. The card underneath the underlying energy was the Page of Wands. And then also how the masculine sees himself today is the Nine of Pentacles, which could be single, could be sovereign, could be seeing himself as a child's energy in his energy or his feminine's energy in his energy. Any which way, there's definitely some kid energy going on today. It is, let's see, the coding had to do with patience, rebirth, and health. And the numbers around that were 96, 10, 106, 25, which is the Knight of Wands, 7, the Chariot, so a lot of movement there going on, 99, 36, which is the 10 of Wands, dumping the burdens or going to fall over, or confession, 9, 10, begin again, and 232. There were 2 cups, 3 pentacles, 2 swords, so there were no wands going on, even though there's all this movement and 5 of Wands energy around today. And being that it's Sunday though, you know, there might not be a lot of movement. 3, did I bring up 3? And 3 was there too. It was all about patience, rebirth, and health, having to do with seeing the key, being wise, and ending the things that need to be ended. They were talking about 6 half moons, which would end up like the end of June to July, around that time. July 2nd and 6/23 were coming up, as well as the sexy sage energy, and reflecting on this high vibe show of power, right? Because show of power is ego. So is that really how you want to be seen? This could be the masculine coming off as the Queen of Wands type of energy. But to see the key in ending this situation, whether it's with the sexy karmic or how you display yourself. Also maybe what the masculine wants as far as his divine feminine or doesn't want. But it's about show of power, which is ego. Also seeing the key in the hermit and being alone and still and wise. The feminine collective consciousness, which is half of the masculine. So it's, when we talk about feminine and masculine, it's for both of you. The feminine collective consciousness, love, the sexy queen, clear reflection about high vibrations and show of power and the difference between them. So as we get right into the read, it was starting out with the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, I'm going to tell you, the underlying energy came out twice, in line, in tandem actually, with the death cards. 2 Queen of Cups, 2 deaths, 2 timelines. Also, I'm lisping a little bit, which was coming up earlier as well, so there's definitely someone out there with a lisp, or maybe had lisp issues when they were young, which is why they have issues now around insecurities. The year 1996 came up as well, which is the year my daughter was born. It didn't come up because of my daughter, but then I realized when I wrote it down, it was the year she was born. And also it was coming up around a star is born. When a star is born, it's the end to love that is dependent, because, or codependency in general, because one cannot live on bread and water alone. So once you find your light, you can't just live on food. You need to live on that light, right? The passion that is authentically you. So the Queen of Cups, detox of ignorance, which is just being unaware. Lack of inspiration and tantrums of the full moon release recently. So we're more mid-cycle going into the new moon now. But the worst is over for the masked boy with burning desire hiding from her. Leading out justice in an offer of a new life to Libra or justice system or divorce, there's a student of the Queen of Swords who walks right over the dead and confronts religious leaders and children. No fear, knowing that the sun is on the horizon. So I also want to point out that Scorpio, pay attention, because it comes up as kind of harsh here with the 2 death cards and the tower and that kind of energy coming out for Scorpio, but they're all upright. So Scorpio is upright in the underlying and body of the read. So watch out for those Scorpios, okay? No fear, but also this has to do with the divine feminines walking in their truth and the divine masculines starting to walk in their truth without fear, as long as they're authentic and being truthful and as kind as they can. It doesn't matter what they say because it's the truth. If they know that if it triggers someone else, then that's their wound to heal. Okay, there's a reason for it. The living dead show compassion, but also not concerned with dead bodies. The soul is no longer in it at last rites. The priest or pastor does not control the gate, your gate. After all, the Grim Reaper on a white horse is like the unicorn without his truth, without his horn. And the Grim Reaper only adorns a black suit of armor to house the nothingness that's within him, because it's just source energy. Otherwise, he wouldn't be seen. How would we know he's the Grim Reaper if he's not wearing like a black uniform or a suit of armor? How do we know the actual compassion that he brings? Because when we die, we're just changing dimensions. Just like a butterfly leaves the cocoon and has no need to look back at their old way of being. Remember that the caterpillar is very slow, like the inchworm, taking one step at a time. Looking back at the caterpillar or the cocoon or the old home, now you are free, butterfly. And so now there's something that came up, a couple things that were really cool in this read. All right, so now you are free, butterfly. And notice that we were talking about buttercup yesterday. Buttercup, butterfly, the common theme is butter. So butter, cup. Cup is the Holy Grail. Butterfly. Fly is the gift of knowing, hearing. All right, your inner knowing, listening. Remember, the fly on the wall was coming up, keeping your ears open for your messages. So it's saying the common theme here is for the Holy Grail and your gifts is butter. And what is butter? It's fat. So butter is fat. It's abundance. It is gras, like in foie gras or in Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, right? It is G-R-A-S, but it's also like grass. And what do people feed on? Or animals feed on grass to make them fat, to fatten them up. Gras also comes up as safe. Fat makes you safe, right? So if your body, and when you get old, they always tell you to hold on to more fat to keep you safe. So bile is also greenish and yellowish, but it's brown. It's greenish, yellowish, brown, and diminishes fat, right? Because for processing lipids, you need the bile to break it down in your small intestines and digesting, that kind of thing. So the liver processes fats, and but it's tainted with the brown, and brown is the color of illness, basically. But fat, it diminishes fat, and fat is good as an extension of you. It is the untapped potential not used for manifestation of desires. So listen, it's very careful. It's a very important message. Buttercream, butternut, buttermilk. Cream, nuts, milk. They're all good. They were telling me, how can milk from any mother be bad? Unless, of course, it's been poisoned. Milk is life. A simple word from a child's mouth can change the course of history. So then the butterfly effect was also coming in here. But what they were saying about milk is we eat so much processed crap, and that's why everyone's getting cancer, that is the reason for the milk, not because milk, human milk or animal milk, is bad for you. It's how the milk has been treated. Milk is life, right? Why would you feed a baby milk if it was bad for anyone? That the babies are most sensitive, right? So in reference to the butterfly effect, for those of you who forget or whatever it is, has to do with how the smallest movement can change history, right? So you have a reporting weather, and it had to do with a tornado and trying to limit the environment to test different effects on a tornado, and then a butterfly flying through, and how that can change the whole chain of events down the line. So we're talking about your intention, that positive intention, and how important it is to keep it positive. And that milk is such a positive effect for you and your baby, and that when you can't breastfeed your mother's milk, how much of a turn it can take you on. And I definitely get that both ways. My mother actually had to stop breastfeeding me because of a cyst, and same for my kids as well. So there's definitely issues when you don't use breast milk, because that's of course the best thing for your own child. And it's not judgment of anything. I would be judging myself. They're just giving us facts about what is real and what's not real. So, and it was when I woke up this morning, it wasn't really sunny or anything, and then at 8:39 it started sprinkling rain, just like a light layer of rain, like it's paralleling the butterfly effect for some reason, but they wanted me to bring that up. And also that butter is but and ER. And what is but? But is fat. And ER is urgent. Butter is urgent fat. Okay? Alright, so again, a simple word from a child's mouth can change the course of history. And also 5, 6, pick up sticks came up again, because it came up as absent yesterday, because we're not supposed to work hard. Picking up sticks is putting burdens on your shoulders, the weight of the world, so let go. That was a reminder again today. And then it went into, if you use your, it was 9:55 as I turned the page. 55 is the Ace of Swords, the truth. If you use your intuitive abilities as intended as a human, you do not get fat, because that abundance transfers through you as love. Love not given, just like our messages, when we receive our downloads, we need to give them, especially love of self, not given, causes obesity. And then I'm seeing in the cards, so I was literally getting the Queen of Swords with her sword was pointing right up at the Page of Pentacles coin. So it was making like a lowercase I. So we have the sword and the coin, and then the card below that was the Death card with the pink rose. So love not given, especially self, causes obesity. The I, the sword and the coin, and then compassion of the pink rose. So what did that mean? Death of a rose. The mother holds the truth, Excalibur. The child holds the coin, the fat. The father holds the key of compassion. But how this works here, it's very complicated but simple, yet it was unbelievable when I was getting this information. It was very cool. The children are born, the masculine's born into green heart with gold coin. So the gold energy, that sparkling gold light with white, that Christ consciousness. Both of the children are born into that gold energy, but the masculine's born into the green heart, the heart, and the feminine's born into the compassionate heart, the high heart. So that's why Zion was coming up yesterday as the daughter of Zion, the higher love, because the daughter is born into this world, and that's why her intellectual capacity is ahead of the masculine when she's born, which is a fact. That the daughter is born into the compassion energy with gold, which is that high love. So she's considered the daughter of Zion, higher love. All right, so what happens with this situation is the mother, as she becomes sexual and manifests, goes out and gets jobs, she learns green, all right? She's pink as a child, and then she learns green of manifestation, the masculine energy. So the mother holds the truth, though. Once she has a child, she loses her gold coin and it becomes silver, because she's transferred that light to her child to bear a child. She gifted that to her child. But in that gifting, she deprives herself of that light. That but she's still in her truth. She's still the pure one, right? The mother. The green child, the boy with the sparkling gold, holds the coin, the fat. And like I said, the daughter holds the pink. The father becomes the compassion. Just like the mother becomes the truth from having bore children, the father becomes compassion, having bore children, or having experienced those children as well. But his is a little bit trickier. And also the pink of the compassion reflects black, okay, which is the dark energy. Black and white more reflects the nothingness and the everythingness. It's not like the opposite colors. The colors are more black of the dark to the that dark energy to the pink of compassion, okay? This is the information I'm receiving. So the father ultimately will be that. That's the ultimate family, is where the mother holds the green and the pink and the truth and the sword of truth. The children have the gold light and the pink and green separately. And then the father actually inherits that compassion from his daughter. And obviously not all men have daughters. So if he doesn't have a daughter, he would normally learn that from his wife, hopefully, which they don't always, which is why the masculine stays in his ego or in that Neanderthal type personality that we have seen traditionally. So because with the masculine and the feminine, the parents, the truth and compassion of the feminine mother and the father, the compassion, truth plus compassion equals child, which equals fat, because they each come into this world with that gold coin, which equals love. Above fourth dimensional death. The 4D may look ugly to 3D people, but to those above the 4D, it is a beautiful graduation day, accomplishment of a higher love. There's something that came up about the mother too, that when a mother loses her child at birth, it is the reason why it's such a struggle for her is because she's given her gold light to her child. And usually if you have a child, you now still retain that gold child with you because you're raising that child in that mother-child bond. But if you lose that child, you lose that gold light. The only way to get it back is for you to start loving yourself again as much as you would have loved that child, which is very hard when you've lost a child. So they wanted me to bring that up. They also wanted to say, if you don't protect yourself with love, right, and love yourself first, that nature will do it for you. It's just like your body rejecting a transplanted organ, or just like how the pearl is developed. So if the bacteria gets in the clam or the oyster, the pearl develops to protect the clam or the oyster against the bacteria that got in there. Well, it's the same thing with love. If you don't protect yourself with love, nature's going to do it for you. So you put a layer of fat around you to protect you against yourself. Use your intuition, your abilities, your gifts, and love yourself first. Step up to the plate and hit a home run. All right, so when the mother has the male child, she learns manifestation from the male because he naturally comes with that. And the same with the daughter teaches the father compassion because she naturally comes in with that. When you starve yourself, so not loving yourself first will cause fat to be retained on the body. When you starve yourself, like we've all done, I certainly have, and I've had my fat frozen as well. So when you do that though, starve yourself or freeze, or any means of getting rid of fat, you are saying that you are not worthy of love. When you love the gift of you first so much, you must share it with the world, your high vibe energy will naturally burn the calories and protect you from illness. Love is a natural protectant. When gaining weight, look at why you are feeling unworthy of love. Why are you giving so much to others, but not to yourself? You can have sugar if you love yourself and you keep your vibration high, no issue, all in moderation. Do what feels good to you. Do not listen to what someone else tells you is good for you. You feel what your body is willing to take and not take. And I wanted to bring up this example because my uncle is a perfect example. My uncle's a genius, so he's not someone who everyone will resonate with because he's talking over most people's heads. And he's been thin all his life, but he's him, no matter what. He has no choice but to be him. It's kind of like an autistic thing. You have to be yourself. And he survives on hot dogs. He's in his 90s, and he's still taking care of himself. He's fully functional, like working, doing all sorts of things. And he lives on hot dogs because he's in such a high vibrational place, above what most people are, so it can be a lonely place, but not to him, because he's doing what he loves. So it's a perfect example of this. The father naturally grounds, but the mother's the thread that holds them together, the family. She can teach them to take advantage of her and be lazy, or she can teach them to use their gifts and abilities and love themselves first, and make them, own up to their own repercussions and learn to ground. So when she teaches them to take care of themselves, then she learns to ground herself as well. If she doesn't, and she does everything for everyone else, she becomes ungrounded, and that's when your mom gets pissed and wants to beat you up. So the masculine child clings to the physical mother, green, but follows his gold naturally. The feminine child clings to the father's gold until he's able to express the compassion that she's taught him, which then allows her to unfold. So because the children have the gold, they resonate with the father in that respect, because the mother's silver now, because she's given her gold away. But they both resonate with the mother because they each have the gold and the pink, which she has both. Until the father learns the pink, or compassion, and the mother regains her gold, which resonates with the masculine more, children do not unfold properly. So they both need to learn to love themselves, both the masculine and feminine sides. A boy denied his masculine expression by his parents loses his gold, manifesting abilities, and goes into addiction because he's been denied his right to be masculine. A silvery white is pure, but lacking love and expansion of gold. The buttercup yellow is sparkle, which is the sun. Nature female is green and pink, the physical and the higher love. Okay, so remember that daughter of Zion is the little girl, because she is born into compassion. Okay, so the underlying signs here are Capricorn reverse, Pisces both ways, Cancer upright, Leo upright, Taurus upright, Scorpio upright, Aquarius and Aries both reverse. This is just the underlying energies. Often they change direction into the body of the read. And I wanted to bring up the colors here too. So when people go through betrayal, we're dealing with reflections of black and rose pink, not black and white. Black has to do with the betrayal of the dark energy, and rose pink is compassion. Those are, if you practice seeing black and close your eyes, you're going to see pink. You won't see white. You'll see rose pink. And remember, it's different seeing flat colors than colors with light behind them, because they're higher dimensional colors. Silver has to do with justice of that feminine, the mother energy. Truth and black and white has to do with the nothingness and the everythingness that the mother is naturally aware of, because she is a mother. But she has that silver until she learns to love herself again as much as she's been giving to her children. And often mothers don't when they're young, because she can. That's why she's designated silver when they're infants, because she must sacrifice to raise them at that time. But she must take time for herself as well. It's very important for her to get her gold back. The gold, the opposite of gold, yellow, is purple. But because the gold is sparkling and white, the purple becomes violet. Okay, so that's about the energies of the crown and up. As I turn the page, it's 1042, and 42 is the Two of Cups, all right, the soulmates. The masculine must be nurtured into pink from the feminine daughter, or from his wife, or other women in his life. The feminine into green, learning how to manifest out in the world. The physical return, okay, must return to gold when depleted. Okay, so when you deplete your energy like the mother did when she had her children, it's up to her to start loving herself first again so that she can get her gold back. The Queen of Swords speaks truth, and as offers of money come up behind her. The cart before the horse that came up yesterday, this is them explaining that the Queen of Swords speaking her truth, like I'm doing here as a twin, right, expressing my truth in order to heal. As offers of money come up behind her after she starts doing her work, because she's doing what's authentic to her, not worrying about the money, it will naturally follow her, the cart before the horse. She must allow the horse then to pull her forward as the horse comes along. Accept the help. Emotions are draining. Wounds are clearing out, healing as the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The divine masculine and the divine feminine inner children, but also this is very much about if the women hadn't gathered around the divine masculine in his situation, the minnow would have been lost. So it was a necessary evil, okay? But they also then denied him his masculinity, because when women dote on a boy and do everything for him, he doesn't learn to manifest, and then his gold goes away, which is innate to him. It's his right. The ships are ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, okay? So the ships are tossed, right? They're sinking, and the masculine and the feminine end up together in uncharted territory together. Gilligan must get past his codependencies on Skipper to choose Ginger or Marianne, because self-love for Gilligan would be to have a loving mate. He's a young man. The professor loves himself, kind of like my uncle, but he must learn to love others and socialize more with Marianne and Ginger. The Howells must learn compassion, because they're kind of, hoity-toity there with all their money, and the skipper must get past his pride. His ship is his mistress. There is someone back home he must make it back to that he left behind, because he was all about his work and wasn't showing compassion to the person he left behind. And now his work, which was his whole life, all of a sudden got destroyed. So who is he now? If that's all he put his work into, and now is destroyed, who is he really? And does the person he left behind now want him? Because before he was a ship's captain, now he has nothing. So, death be not proud. It is what it is, just a passing from one moment to the next. Death is the past, life is the present, future is illusion. Separation came up as the underlying energy for the masculine, and underneath that was express your love. In separating from a situation that's no longer for your highest good, you express your love. So the hangman is wise and educated. He reads a book in order to get to the point. A good-looking woman gets attention by showing her butt, her fat, her love light, her boobs and butt. Before I go on to this whole new line of things, I want to make sure that I touch on this. The fat thing with loving yourself as opposed to starvation, which is hatred for self, okay? So when you loathe yourself, you're trying to cut stuff away from you, and now we're telling you that fat is love. The reason why it's collecting on your body is because you're not allowing it to pass through. It's like your downloads. Once you receive them, you have to pass them on. It's the same thing with fat. If you don't pass on your downloads, you're going to hold on to them in fat, because that's energy that needs to go through you. But when you starve yourself, it's literally self-hatred. It's no different than cutting yourself, right? Because you're trying to hurt yourself. You're trying to kill yourself, basically. So they're a little different there. One, when you don't love yourself first, you put on the weight. When you loathe yourself, you starve yourself to death. Okay, so that makes sense, okay? So as far as the fat, so a woman naturally has fat. She's got butt fat and boob fat, showing her love. For a man, it's his butt and his head fat, ego. The more curvy the feminine, the more ego-driven the masculine who reflects her. Maybe a flat-chested woman who may feel insecure about herself may attract an insecure intellectual man, right, who's not buff. Everyone has insecurities, and we tend to reflect what those insecurities are. But in the natural course, just in the way you're born, a voluptuous woman is going to attract a big, bulky man, all right, because you're polarized. So quiet is secretive, someone you can't trust, but mysterious. Someone who talks too much may be seen as manipulative because you can't trust them, but they're mysterious. Now you notice that common thread is the unknown. Everyone always feeling they need to know the unknown, so you're attracted to the mysterious when you're not connected to your higher self, because it is the unknown. If the inner world is not open and free, cannot draw on its love. You cannot draw in love that's open and free. Trust is imperative here, no fear, because if you don't trust, that's fear. The more to the middle you are, the more the person you attract into your sphere will be as well. The Knight of Pentacles rides in to offer help and is gentle and kind. The King of Pentacles with the crown, who wears a superhero cape, may be intimidating at first, but he's very good at what he does. He's a master. Allow the help from whoever offers it. They are natural manifestors. This is what they do. They're supposed to offer you help. You have to, as a feminine, need to learn how to receive. So this is the masculine read, but it's giving messages to both of you. This will lead to Two of Cups connection with love and bonbons, which is fat, love. The divine masculine hung up on attention, but needs to break those cycles, okay? So this is why, too, like your masculine, for a feminine, he's going to bring you chocolates, high vibrational roses and chocolates, because he's bringing you high vibrations and then fat, which is also considered high vibrations, but you now need to burn it off. So the masculines need to learn to break those patterns of getting attention and learning to give attention, insist on helping the feminine connect. He's been one of the girls too long and must stop to be a man, not a boy any longer. Boys play, use, ignore, and manipulate when they are in fear of not being able to manifest what they want, right? Because the women who grew up with him took that ability away from him. He becomes a man when he masters his fears. His confidence comes from self-love and no longer is ego-driven. If the divine masculine feels intimidated by the divine feminine, he must recognize his own insecurity, that her power is his blessing, and vice versa. Do-si-do. He steps out, she steps in. So masculine, step in. She may just step out and let you in. You don't need to be any certain way but who you are, your authentic, loving self. Nobody's perfect. No body is perfect, okay, physically. But the soul is always perfect. Bony knees, thigh highs, expose your differences. Be proud of scars. Scars are a sign of healing. No need to be shy, no need to be intimidating. One brings out the other. Play with how your energy works in reflection with each other. Push, run, pull back, draws in. Pulling back means going into self, connecting with you, higher self, be you, authentic. Forgiveness comes up is really important for the masculine at 96, which is a 6 of love, forgiveness, and then underneath that was synchronicities. So pay attention to your guidance. Masculine is 87, which is also a 6. Holding back passions, feeling overwhelmed by love or emotions, or a player was just dumped, or intentions of getting busy and moving but drops from exhaustion or fear that drains, and crying a lot or purging for the masculine. Exhausted physically, depleted emotionally after fighting conflict, competition, where it may be over now, while the Queen of Cups is looking princess beautiful, supported by a big family or plenty of money. So that can reference to his karmic or his feminine, okay? So Juliet looks out over her balcony, wondering where he went. Where'd the masculine go? It's been so long. Has he survived the war? So now we're going into the post-war trauma situation. And the movie Butterflies Are Free came up, 1972. And I can't even remember. I know it's Goldie Hawn, but I can't remember what the movie's about. But for me, it was coming up because when people go into post-war limbo, they get very confused. Like they're really excited that the war is over, but then they don't know what to do. So the women have been waiting for the men to come home, still don't know whether they're still alive or not. The war just ended. Are they alive? Are they coming home? And then the masculines are like, are in combat mode from being at war, that all of a sudden they don't know what to do with themselves. It is spring, butterflies, and grass. G-R-A-S, like graph. Fact. Grass is out. Abundance. Seeing animals and birds in twos. One box turtle. I had a box turtle named Jesse James, so the box turtle came up, and Jesse James came up right away. One box turtle, Jesse James, so slow and small, doesn't know how to get all his riches to you as a divine feminine. Does she know I'm just a small green turtle with a yellow mouth? And then I was getting Ninja Turtles. If I could just find that frog who told me how to change to a prince. I can't remember what he told me. I'm just so dense, okay? So the density comes up as well of being a human and a lower vibration. Feeling kind of lost after the battle and confused where to go for the masculine. Post-war limbo. Okay. So then I turn the page, it's 11:55. 55 is the Ace of Swords, the truth, and 11, of course, is justice. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the different queens here, because the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups were the major cards in this read, but all 4 queens were on the table. So it could be that the Queen of Cups is also the Queen of Wands, karmic, or it could also be that the Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Swords, divine feminine, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, the Queen of Swords also came up as just someone who's swordy energy, intellectual, or very much about their words or their thoughts. Also, Scorpio and Libra energies were coming up around the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles was coming up as Taurus, Pisces, Aries, or Cancer, as well as that grounded energy or an earth sign. 9 of Pentacles is the way the masculine seeing himself, came up with Libra and Virgo energies, possibly Gemini, but probably not. Queen of Wands was coming up as that fiery energy, but also Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and just someone who has that kind of personality, fiery. And then the Queen of Cups was coming up as Capricorn, Pisces, Cancer, Aries, as well as the water signs, and someone who's just very nurturing and loving and intuitive, very watery. So, you know, it can represent many different situations here. So this is a general read. Remember that if it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit. And if it does, most of these energies are underlying energies. Okay, so if it's underlying energies, it means it already is. It's not predictive. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is ready for blast off. 2 Queens of Cups and 2 Death cards in tandem, leaving behind a lower timeline. The Queen of Cups, student of Queen of Swords. The masculine walking away from Queen of Wands and children, if they have them, to offer help to the Queen of Swords. To Juliet timeline, where Romeo knows better than to kill himself, because in his knowing he would have known that she wasn't dead, using his intuition and his abilities, which I can attest to, because in helping my neighbors find their dog, I was at least able to comfort her that I knew that the dog was still alive, which was surprising, because it had been a winter week of a cold where this tiny little dog would have frozen to death if they were outside. So using his intuitions, he would have known Juliet wasn't dead. Okay, so this is bringing up, which will come up in the read, that someone, this is going to be very rare and unusual if one or maybe 2 people at the most, someone who knows how to make themselves appear dead to scam someone out of money, and then like a death suit or something like that, where they, with whatever drugs they use to make themselves appear dead, and then leave the country to then collect the money from whoever collects the money for them. So there's some kind of scam like that for someone out there, okay? But it was coming up here that Romeo would have known that she wasn't dead, so he wouldn't have killed himself. So now Mason's on that higher timeline. So if the karmic plays any of those games with him, he's going to know, because he's using his intuition. You must separate in order to come together. The last runner of the relay cannot take the baton forward until the 3rd runner has let go of the baton. And realize the baton is bat on. Bat is a wand, right? It's the Ace of Wands. It's male arousal, okay? And also we talk about the masculine as being in the bat cave. So it's bat on fire, chariots of fire, true connection with forgiveness and love. But just like the 3rd to 4th in the relay, the baton must be passed on before you can get to that 4th person. Recently is the 6 of Cups. She is the Holy Grail, a feminine child, because she is born with compassion and a higher intellect than the masculine at that time. The daughter of Zion holds pink compassion and gold manifestation abilities. The Queen of Wands is now satisfied on her own, the karmic, with kids, with or without kids. After masculine exposed third-party connection through work, church, school, or creative place, wherever it is, divine marriage. He's exposed that to the karmic in this situation. Now, it doesn't have to be for all, but for some it's going to be true. Transformation is here on 2 timelines simultaneously, because you're shifting dimensions. The foundation is the moon, standing up for self and at night, fending off others, while the divine feminine is sealed in the 5D world, and he is a fool for her. The Queen of Pentacles is up nights lacking faith, but then rising above illusion of separation. So she goes back and forth, pulling herself right back in, and the masculine is now willing to, you know, make a fool of himself for her, all right, because he's a fool for love. So centrally, for the masculine is the Queen of Pentacles energy. The third party who offered love that he ignored, now he's grounding and integrating it, seeing synchronicities everywhere about or with the Empress reversed. So it could be with his karmic or a mother, but they're reversed either way. It could be an ill mother as well. Karmic or miscarriage, or just seeing synchronicities and having heaven in his eyes, but him in lack, not feeling worthy of all this. Burdened by the truth and crown opening up to the 5D world, to source God, commitment to self, higher self, and expressing passionate feelings, feeling the heated exchanges with his twin. The challenge being reflection. The hermit with light at home, working on alignment, details, and cracking codes and the truth. Grounding and integrating his truth and his crown opening, without thorns, mind you, not the thorny crown like Jesus. He may be sitting under a soft willow tree or an ash, satisfied alone, transforming and changing lanes at night, so all the shifts and change of dimensions are happening periodically, as he's noticing, and at full moons. Crowning as he releases. So crowning is the indigo, which can also be the magician, confessing his undying love and truth to the wounded warrior, with longing and sexual energy issues between them, his third party gossip and sexual frustrations, overindulgences, burden, those burdens of walking and then dropping right into a divorce and spirituality with the Princess, Queen of Cups, Juliet, on a new timeline. So this time they're not going to die. The indigo student is looking at all angles, saving up to battle with ego, or Leo, destined to fall short, to conk out after a long haul, after so long in the end. Okay, so the signs that came up for the body of the read, all the signs came up except for Aquarius. And if Aquarius did come up in a minor way, it would be reversed energy. The lovers did not show up here anywhere. So lovers has nothing to do with physical sex. That's wands. Lovers has to do with affection. So there's no affection here. There's a lot of issues that are coming up, and I'm going to go through all of them. But no lovers, no Aquarius energy, and Gemini might have come up in a minor way reversed. But like I said, there were no lovers cards, so no major arcana. All of the other signs were present. Taurus was reversed, as well as Capricorn, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Aries were all reversed. The ones that were upright were Virgo, Leo, Libra, Scorpio, and Pisces were all upright. So the masculine, after this long haul, could just no longer physically sustain it. Constant conflict and jealousies, spying and having to light a fire under them just to get them going constantly. Or she was flirting or cheating to get back at his inattentiveness, due to romantic tie, where he found peace in his longing and passion for healthy food, justice and temperance, truth, patience, and balance, with the Queen of Swords, the divine feminine, who comes up as in mourning, right, because she's grieving her masculine, while destined conceit of the Queen of Wands, karmic, would lead to her downfall, ultimately. Libra, Pisces, Sagittarius energies are coming up in a triangle. It does not have to be sun, moon, rising. It can just be an energy that's within whatever they're expressing. But Libra, Pisces, Sagittarius energies are coming up in a triangle specifically. The Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the King of Cups, keeping up the upstanding father or citizen, while partner felt the flame between them. So even though she can't connect like the twin flame does, she does, you know, this is her partner, so she knows, she senses when there's another energy in between them, which she does. And then the Queen of Swords is in deep mourning of her twin and has gone through that whole purging of the dark night of the soul. She couldn't fathom how he could love her so, yet continue to sleep with the karmic, knowing that she was there. So soon comes the family. So now we have the Ten of Pentacles involved for the masculine, okay? So this is the extended family, not just the immediate family, the mom and dad and the kids. This is now the extended family involved, whether it's hers or his. To end this war, after no messages, silent treatment, stalking, and or bipolar or nasty immature comments or gossip, family is now present to all of it. The Knight of Wands rescue efforts for alcohol or control issues could be kids using the truth as a weapon and to defend themselves, their misbehaviors. Now the masculine is grieving the devil, cutting off his sex life at night in transformation to learn proper use of his energy to be a good example to his kids and or family and people at work and friends. So it's not a negative thing coming up here. It's just the natural course of events where it's natural in the twin flame journey for the masculine at some point during the journey when the feminine cuts off, not wanting to do this anymore. His sexual energy of her gets cut off, so he becomes depleted, and then he wants to recharge again, so he's kind of, he wants to come back to his twin for the reboot, and so does the karmic, right, because she draws that energy from him, from the divine feminine through him. But he's now seeing that, but he's grieving the devil cutting off his sex life, right, because at night transformation, he realizes now he's learning, it's kind of learning tantric sexual practice, okay, to retain that sexual energy. Trying to rescue his kids before leaving them for his twin also. So he might be dealing with some of his kids having issues. The divine masculine is the Nine of Pentacles sovereign. That's the way he's seeing himself, as single or sovereign, or it could be him seeing his divine feminine within himself. The hermit with insecurities that become manipulations over time. After fighting is over, with justice and or court or divorce, there's a split in a partnership, in whatever respect that is. Now single, the masculine had give your relationship a chance, soulmate, release your ex, and wedding, which means that this situation involves marriage. So it can either be that it just involves marriage with the karmic, or that they are releasing the ex after they are apart, broke up with them, or divorced them already, but they still need to release those energies and are now about to get married to their partner or their twin. Could be somebody else too, depending on where you are in your journey. Around the masculine, or how he's seen, is a huge download. A bomb drops of jealousy and letting go and over loss of the past. Both the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups are reversed here, feeling this inability to offer love to anyone if it's not their twin. A fresh start, a leap of faith. So this can definitely be the masculine and the feminine, both reversed, not wanting to offer love. They could be manipulative and jealous in those positions, but it could also just be the Knight of Cups reversed, where he normally wants to offer love to everyone, wants to offer love to no one because he's upset about this, and the Queen of Cups as well. She can be manipulative, and that can be her normal energy, but doesn't have to be. The Queen of Cups can also be someone who's just crying a lot because they're hurt. But that's the energy that's around in the, or how the masculine may be seen. He needs to clear blocks about purging and strategizing how to get out of purge cycles. That recovery mode, like, because the masculine always has a solution for everything because they're logical. You can't get out of the purging cycles. This just is what it is. They get less and few and farther in between, but you can't get out of it. Okay, so let go of any idea of recovery mode and of sudden events, purges, epiphanies, and drama. It's just about staying present and just being ready in love and knowing you need to walk away if you react. You can certainly stand up for yourself, but if you react in any way, that's why we need to always be present in every moment so we don't slip back into our old ways. And then to just leave the situation. Patience, rebirth, and health came up for the masculine, but even more so, music, happy ending, nature, and surrender. Taking a leap forward to romance into another dimension. There's news or a message. Talk about the King of Cups, the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, shocking the Emperor who had his back turned. So this is all coming up about gossip. So the Emperor with his back turned the whole time, with him focused ahead of him, with a burning desire up ahead, or a child temptress that he wants to bed. That he either wants to bed currently or wanted to bed, or just seeing his kids coupled up with boyfriends and girlfriends and watching them like a hawk, right, because he doesn't trust. Maybe he's seen a child have a love him and leave him situation, and now he's seeing this in himself and how he can correct that going forward. The Page of Swords with a small message of light in uncomfortable emotions of needing to know more, right? And then we get into heard it through the grapevine. So here we go into that unknown thing. When it's unknown, it means you're not tapping into your intuition with the need to know. And if you need to know because it's mysterious, it means that someone's closed off and you may not want to know. It needs to happen naturally, right? So then hearing it through the grapevine, Bye Bye Birdie came up, which was funny because I was in Bye Bye Birdie in junior high school, and we had a pyramid side empty boxes where we were just sitting, each had our own box, and we were, on the telephones talking to each other. So in Bye Bye Birdie, it's Hugo and Kim. Did you hear about Hugo and Kim? Did they really get pinned? Right? Did she kiss him and cry? Did he pin the pin on, or was he too shy? And Bobby Rydell came up here, as well as Grease in Summer Nights, because in Summer Nights, the gossip that she tells to her girlfriends is what a gentleman he is, and the gossip he tells to his guy friend is how, yeah, he got sex and all that kind of stuff. So it's about the gossip, all the lies that people tell, the half-truths. At work, about impatient emperor, out of control. So there's gossip about the emperor. The situation is coming up where the King of Cups can be the masculine emperor, or they can be two separate people, the King of Cups and the Emperor. And really, those were the only two masculines really emphasized in this reading here, especially here at the end. So the King of Cups, Emperor reversed, with a Sagittarius, or Sagittarius is talking dirt about him at work. So it could be a karmic if they broke up, talking shit about him at work. But it's just different scenarios that are coming up, like I was saying, there's news or message talk about a King of Cups, Queen of Wands, and Queen of Swords, which could definitely be the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and the Karmic. But the talk about it's coming out and shocking the Emperor, and it can be about the King of Cups and the Emperor's finding out, or the Emperor is the King of Cups and he's now finding it out that these people are talking behind his back at work. All right. So now the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups could have had an explosive talk about the Emperor at work, or about him at work, who's out of control and losing their temper. Or the King of Cups is the Emperor, hearing people talk about him, what the Queen of Wands said about him, that the Emperor has a whole string of women lined up. To bed, or a whole string of women lined up to bed, okay? And they're coming up as different scenarios. Like one woman is a Libra, Scorpio, judge or lawyer type, and then another one is a Sagittarius, drunk Cancer, who pretends to be an angel, but you can't trust them. And then another, the Queen of Swords, like a Divine Feminine, coming up as the Devil, or a Capricorn, who says she can feel him, who's depressed over karmic sneak attack on the Emperor, so with a young thing, child fling romance that she feels and he's already walked away from. So that's another scenario where he's now maybe broke up from his big relationship that he had, or a marriage, and now he's having a fling with some young girl that may be the age of his children. And that's just a story, doesn't mean it's true. While his kid's in need of rescue, and he chooses to ignore them. So this is like coming from the perspective of the karmic who broke up with him, trying to talk dirt about him, saying like he's not even paying any attention to his children and blah, 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 And some of this could be true, but the point is that the gossip's going around the office, whether it's true or not, you can't believe everything you hear. Either he's holding his tongue and lying about crying and purging at work because he's feeling the situation, or being verbally abusive because he's overwhelmed and losing his temper at work, hearing people talk about him. Attention to release. Somebody might be getting attention to a release from prison for abusive past, or that he is releasing himself from an abuse in his childhood, or a negative past that he holds guilt about, or a dysfunctional family, or loss of money. So he might have been scammed and maybe embarrassed about that too. So all of this stuff that might have been hurting him, that he's been keeping way pushed down, is now coming up because now all of the family are awakened to dysfunctional family issues in general, and he gets them from them. So all the fakeness and the facades, the performance at work, even somebody could be getting in trouble or being judged for their performance at work, repeating patterns, juggling women, or juggling anything. It doesn't have to be women. It could be someone who's a workaholic. It can be juggling could be drugs. Someone could be selling drugs, or somebody could be juggling work and home, and always but a workaholic, or spending too much money, or whatever the problem is. There's some kind of dysfunction there. The home or addiction to work, never stopping to feel anything, the masculine, so that he wouldn't fall. He needs to keep going and be busy because he knows if he falls, then he has to be still and think and feel, and he knows he may never be able to survive that. That's why he keeps it all pushed down. The buck stops here. The Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands might have had an affair, that karmic, with a younger man or boy, a boy or man boy, unaware of ignorance or her drinking problem. Or this could be the masculine as well. And the Divine Feminine may have gone into another relationship too. If her masculine's not around or has gone into another relationship, she may have decided to go into another relationship herself. The Queen of Cups at night is feeling single and free. Now remember, there's 2 Queen of Cups in the read. She's single and free with kids or twin Queen of Pentacles. So it's coming up here that there may be some karmics or feminines, either one, who are now just single and free with the kids at night, but one is with a Queen of Pentacles, maybe in a same-sex relationship. So there's definitely masculines here where their wife is gay and she's never outed herself, so now it's going to be a big deal because she's worried about her family denying her who's really religious, or her children denying her because she's lied to them their whole life. So that's definitely one of the situations coming up here. The challenge being the Hermit, wealthy family, suffering, stressing, or purging. Indigo, magician, it could be an indigo child or a magician type manipulator, manifesting gossip, message or news at work, and or wounded warrior, energy vampire issues. So that could be definitely gossip. It could be gossip from the karmic or friends of the karmic or the children who are just opening their mouths about things they shouldn't be doing at work, right? So, and like literally at the workplace, talking right there. So the Queen of Cups twin, or the Queen of Cups with kids, or the Queen of Cups who has a twin sister, or same-sex twin. Scorpio Cancer, or Queen of Pentacles, could be a Taurus or Virgo with an indigo child and an older teen. Wealthy family, starting fresh, stressed by news at work. And possibly some may be stressed about their performance at work. Maybe they're being judged, or they're juggling too much, or juggling partners. Or one Queen of Cups has one fire sign kid, or a younger lover. Or one Queen of Cups may be in an alcohol detox or in cancer treatment. Huge transformations are happening here for both the Queen of Cups. But for Queen of Swords, in court, as a lawyer or judge, about a child, earth sign, or adult who acts like a child, or someone offered a judge a payoff, so they're definitely going to jail. Or someone offered payment or help too late for a water leak or mold issue that was left for way too long at home or work environment, probably work. Someone may have claimed it was the cause of their cancer, cause of a miscarriage, cause of their ill mother, or wrongful death suit. Truth comes out about overindulgences, a wealthy woman, mother, or boss who's out of control, demanding or spending too much money or firing people, without a thought, and or hurting children. Someone claiming death due to a breakup, when someone may have faked their own death, or Munchausen death of a child or themselves, where someone could sneak out to another home in another country after winnings are claimed. So again, Munchausen's doesn't come up often, it's because you don't see it very much, but it definitely could be Munchausen's or by proxy. I mean, just cutting yourself is a form of Munchausen's, right? Because it's a seeking attention thing, right? Although some cutters, they usually keep that hidden. Munchausen is usually where they want the attention, so they hurt themselves or they hurt a child or someone around them, whether it's by poison or other types of things, so that they can be the savior or that they can get lots of attention in some way. So that's definitely coming up here, not for many. It's just probably maybe one person or maybe a couple people. Same thing as someone faking their own death, because most people would never even think of doing that, let alone know how to do it. Okay, but there's definitely some scammers in this energy here. Okay, so single white female claims also of rape and abuse to make money, or enticed a man into sex to get pregnant, to get child support to live on. Or a divine masculine is challenged by a mother and a sister interfering with kids or how to raise them. Or one kid may be in court after doing something wrong and another making up stories or gossiping. Or two water sign females trying to take kids away from the Queen of Wands, who's now with a third party. So if the karmic cheated, there may be some women from his family or her family who are now trying to get the kids away from living with her. But it's just like lots of messy situations is what they're trying to say. There definitely was also coming up energy, and this came up many times in reads before, where There may be certain masculines who experienced being accused of rape when they were very young, or someone trying to entrap them into pregnancy. So for them, this is going to come up as definitely doubly traumatic now, because they already were accused when they were innocent. And some of them may have been guilty when they were younger, but totally they were young and stupid, and the situation around the case may have been iffy. So, and now they're, it's never been a part of their life since then. That might have been 30 years ago, and now it's bringing up all those old wounds again. Okay, so for some of these divine masculines, this is very traumatizing. For the divine masculine issue is the Queen of Pentacles in the center. It's his challenge is the Hermit shedding light on this Queen of Pentacles. He's thinking of kids possibly and his inner child, or he may have an indigo child. He may have a child who has some issues, whether it could be just ADHD stuff, or it could be bipolar issues, or autism, whatever it is. There could be an indigo type child, whether that's one of his children or his inner child, and not letting, and stuttering came up as well, so it could be that as well, not letting a wealthy family get their grubby hands on his kids, or get them, there might be an abuser in his family that he's willing to put up with for himself because he was abused by them, but he's not willing to let his kids experience the same thing. So trying to make sure that those people don't get their hands, and if he divorces, then the in-laws may get their hands on his kids, and that's what he's most afraid of. He may be stressed out about talk, but also about kids and dating, and or a fresh start at work, now that he's single, and lots of women looking to cash in on the man with money, which may also be a big wound for him. Okay? Thinking that they just want him for his money or for sex and not really for who he is. Okay? But he draws that in because he's not being his authentic self. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of these. See if we can get good messages. We had some great messages. I wish I could remember what they were. Oh, I was definitely getting, the train came upside down on the tracks, so it was saying to the masculine, if you don't get off at your stop, you're going to get dumped. So if you don't do it yourself, it's not going to be fun. It's basically the universe is going to come in and throw you off the train if you don't get off at your stop. It's just saying stay in your lane, and also for the feminines and the masculines, to just stay in your lane, don't get triggered. Don't feed in anything if you think it's unfair. Just remember to remain neutral and don't get involved. Stay in your lane. It was so important. What else was coming up? All right, so today is March 31st, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. Take a deep breath. What is it we need to know? What do we need to learn? What is the message here now? Isis. Okay, those are just cards to count. The unicorns are on the bottom, which is 22, which is the Fool taking a leap of faith. It says, I connect with the unicorns, number 22. Oh, and the unicorns came up in the other read, that someone might have, it was like the unicorn upside down, and above it was the Ireland card, the Celtic cross with the Neanderthal type guy in the cross, and they were both reversed. So there's something about someone's horse might have died. I was also seeing literally in the horse card that there was a horse that someone loves very much that was having a very bad birthing process, where the cord might have gotten wrapped around the colt, and it was just very traumatic, and it was calling you guys not only to have compassion for human mothers who lose their children, but for the animals as well. This horse was looking so traumatized, this mother. So it was also that someone might have gotten trampled by a horse. A horse might have gotten trampled by other horses in a horse race. But I was getting something about, I watch the news, so something about Ireland and horses, a dead horse. And Horus was coming up as well with that. And it was having to do with Neanderthal. We're letting go of Neanderthal man, that was clear. But if anything resonates, please say so in the comments. I might not be aware. The cards that are coming up here are Isis and the Gold Ray of Christ. That's 38, which is the Queen of Cups, which the read was all about. And then 5, which the day is all about, that expansion energy. And it's also the Hierophant of commitment to self. This is Gold Ray of Christ. All right, it's your connection to your higher self. Well, that's funny because I wore my pink and gold ring today, which is that compassion energy. and the gold of the Christ consciousness and that light. So Isis says, illumined Master Isis was Ma-Ra in Lemuria. Isis, the high priestess of Atlantis, mother of Horus. Horus coming up in Egypt. All right, so Isis was mother of Horus. So why was Horus and the horse coming up? The Trojan horse. Was it damaged? Something like that's coming up. Anyway, Horus in Egypt. And Mary, mother of Jesus. She was always overlit by the universal angel Mary, who helped Isis pass her initiations and ascend in each lifetime. This card reminds you of the power of the feminine. Face your challenges with equanimity and courage, knowing you're helped by angels. Keep your light bright and your energy pure, no matter what, and this will enable you to influence many on their ascension path. Remember, there is a greater plan. The affirmation is, I face my challenges with calm and strength. It's saying to stay in your power and stay present. So when you're present, you won't fall back into your old ways when you go out into the world. So the gold ray of Christ 5. Blessings pour onto you when you choose this card of unconditional love. The gold ray of Christ is held within the cosmic heart at the ninth dimension. The angels ask you to invoke the love, wisdom, healing, and protection of this beautiful energy. Ask it to flow through you and surround you with its golden light. When you carry this high frequency force in your aura, you can relax and know you're totally safe. Okay? Anytime you have the light of love around you, you're safe. Just same way nature protects you naturally, like the trees grow around the telephone wires because it's protecting you from them. So ask it to flow through you and surround you with the golden light. When you carry this high frequency in your aura, you can relax and know you're totally safe. Remember to send the gold ray of Christ to others. The affirmation is, I am the gold ray of Christ. And remember too from yesterday that you don't need to call out to your angels. You are those angels. You have the power within you and the cosmic heart. All right, so we have those two cards, and then let's see, 1, 2. The gold and silver cloak definitely came out earlier, I believe, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so we have 12 of completion, and then 2 more is so we have 12, and then 13 were coming up earlier because 12 is completion, but we don't have an end. We are a continuous cycle and ever expanding, which is the 13 of crossing over to the next dimension. So here again, we have 12 cards of the Hangman of Wisdom and seeing another perspective, but then we go on to the 13 and the 14. The 13 being that crossing dimensions, changing lanes, changing or shifting gears. And then we also have that 14th card, which is of patience, because that is your power, is patience. Patience is that of an angel. The 14 is of the angels, of the higher realms. All right, so 12, 13, 14, very important right now. All right, let's see what we have for the past life deck. Let's see if I can remember what came up. That was definitely the Celtic and horse. Maybe it'll come up again. We'll see. Take another deep breath, you guys. Okay, March 31st, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Evelyn. Okay, anything else? That's it. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is karmic relationship is over. It's reversed. Okay, this is done. And this is also coming up as the post-war trauma, because after the war, people break up, right? Or the woman at home moved on to someone else already. But this is all about the karmic breakup. Underneath that is scribe or writer no more. So the one who had to journal all their feelings out no longer need to, because now they are available to actually express themselves for real. The first card out was male and female. Okay, so here's this, where they're not talking anymore. They're aligning their energies, but they're not facing each other. Now that's over, all right, because now you can. This is also about the breakup of the karmic again. Okay, it's just reiterating that. But it's also about not just aligning your energies anymore. Now it can become real. So we have these cards all came out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, we have 6, 5, and 1. So we're back at 12 again. We have 1 of the Magician, 5 of that expansion energy again, and then just love. And I'm getting angels in the outfield again with those cards. Let's see if I can show you these cards. Alright, so Wars and Battles reversed. The Arts reversed also. Trust and Faith reversed. This is up right now. This was reversed before, so the horse might be better. And the transportation came up again, but now it's upright. Before it was reversed. And then this one did not come up earlier, but the farm is now up here. So let's see what we have here. So, alright. So since I did the read earlier, which was a couple hours ago, the train is now back on the right track because there's been a karmic breakup because that didn't come up before. So there's been karmic breakups today, literally. Now the train is no longer upside down, threatening to throw the masculine off the track because he's not getting off at his stop. Now he's done what he was supposed to do. There's a breakup there. The train is now on its track going forward again on time. The horse is back at the farm. And the unicorn is still in mourning. The unicorn's upright, wisdom. But there's still a lot of sadness in his eyes. So it was the unicorn that was coming up as reversed earlier, not a horse per se. I'm getting my mother in the unicorn. And her mother, my grandmother and my mother. When I was getting it reversed earlier, I was definitely literally seeing in the head of the unicorn the baby coming out twisted with a cord around them. But they're upright now, so that's good. And the horse is on the farm here now, is good and grazing. So there might have been a race earlier for sure, a horse race where a horse got hurt. And a birth as well on the farm. But all is better now. But then we have these other 3 down here which are all reversed. Trust and Faith reversed. And the Arts reversed. And Wars and Battles. So the Wars and Battles are over, so that part is good. Trust and Faith earlier was upright. So someone's losing faith. Because they're not using their creativity. It's kind of like that stalemate after the war, like I said, that kind of like post-war trauma, like where do I go now? Confused. When you're confused, you reconnect to your higher self. Or you go play an instrument or be creative. That's how you get back into that energy again. Now that the fighting is over. What do I do now? Well, get creative. Meditate, take a walk, take a nap. But all of those things, just remember it's so simple. When you start getting into confusion or lack again, it's always just, for me, I can go play the piano. If I start singing again, singing is so high vibrational. I mean, I don't need to do a meditation or clear if I sing. If I spend 20 minutes singing my music, I don't need to meditate. It's very high vibrational. So make sure you use your creative pursuits. It's 1, 14, 14. So the Magician and the 2 angels. There's a new start for the 2 angels. And it's just preparing you. Don't let yourself, when you get confused after the battle, so if you fight with your twin, if you have some words when you get together, just come right back to your higher self again. And saying, don't make a big deal out of it. Just do what you've been doing all along. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. So again, like I said, that was 12. 12, so be wise and always see the new perspectives, okay? And then we have a Journey of Love card. Let's see what we get. So Journey of Love. Take another deep breath. Clear and align, clear and align. And so it's only beautiful organic love and light, diamond light. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment below. If you have any questions about anything I've brought up, remember, it's, just channeled energy I've been getting. So, take a deep breath. March 31st, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What do we need to learn? Okay, so I just have to count those. The bottom of the deck is devoted to the small, which is 32. 32 is the 6 of Wands. It's the guy on the horse, the journey. Devotion to the small, okay? So I was talking about the horse birthing. Make sure you give attention to your animals who lose their children, because they go into mourning as well when they lose their children. Not just the mothers who lose their children. Pay attention to the new little flowers that are springing up, and say hello to them, as well as your children, of course. And of course, if you have any little pet ants that I have on my counter, and I can't, obviously they get hurt sometimes and they die because they get, I don't know, they're in the sink or something like that. Things like that happen. But it's saying give devotion to the small. Have gratitude for the small things. All right. So the first card out was 20, which is Sweet Soul Rising and the Judgment. Okay. Making a decision, final decisions coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 cards here. We have the choice. I'm only going to read that first card, but here we have the choice. That is number 62, which is the 8 of Swords. We have self-initiation, which is 12 again, which is the Hangman, wisdom. We have fire and ice, which is 37. This is the King of Cups, which was in the read as well. And then we have ethereal touch, which is 27, and the feathery energy of the Ace of Wands, which is that new passion. Then I just have to count these. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so there's 15 here. So there's definitely some of that devil energy, which is just having to do with your shadow side. Like I said, you're supposed to stay grounded right now because things could be happening or coming in to trigger you, and you're supposed to stay out of the situation and not feed into injustices. Stay neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, 15. All right, so we have 15 of the shadow and codependencies, addictions. So some of that stuff might be coming out. You might hear about that stuff. And then we have 15, and then we have 4, which is 19, the sun, and then 1, which is 20, and then the last one is 20. So that's definitely about judgment, making judgments, final judgments, making decisions, or bad decisions, or deliberating. But it looks like the judgments, the final judgments, are coming through. And just so you know, on the top of the pile of 15 cards is the Yin Yang Lover. That's 8, which I was seeing the number 8 in the sky this morning. I was seeing 2 8s next to each other, the infinities, and I was also seeing 2 robins on the front lawn, so there's 2s. Alright, so let's see what comes up from these 4 cards, if anything. And the Sweet Soul Rising. Alright. Well, this is definitely like Page of Cups energies and like fairy energies, so like butterfly energies, to keep it light and airy with the feather, and the butterflies are free coming up. Tears. There's reflections here. Instead of circles in this card, there's multiple tear shapes. So the tears of the mother who loses her child is coming up. So somebody might have had a miscarriage, or someone just leaving the home. But again, animals were coming up as losing their babies. I'm getting a farm because they're showing me a pitchfork or a hay, so that devil energy is coming up as well. But it was definitely taking me to a farm, and the farm card came up. Oh, this is what came up too. There's parents who don't, innocent children who are not taught what normal children are taught, because they grow up in some kind of religion where they're kept very pure and innocent, and then they get kidnapped or hurt, or a religious leader hurts them because of the way they were raised. That was coming up earlier. So this is bringing that up again. Their innocence is taken from them because their parents did not prepare them properly. And it's due to the religious background, right? Or wanting to keep your children safe and pure away from the world, which you cannot do. It's so important to make sure your children know what they're dealing with when they go out into the world. And judgment's coming up around that. So parents may feel judged because of what happens to their child. Or they may be judging themselves, you know. I'm getting first oranges from these cards, which is sacral chakra, Passion, and the King of Cups, and Wisdom, and Prison. So definitely, again, all the situations that I brought up during the read are coming up here, you know, as far as people may be going to prison for wrongdoing, whatever the situation was. Someone may have paid off a judge. For the masculine to make sure to be wise and see multiple perspectives before making a judgment. Don't put himself in prison. Let go of anxiety and stress and fear, all fear. Be your loving self. Be unconditional love. And be as light as a feather when going in for a new passion. Remember to use your inspiration. That passion is inspiration and ego. There's a lot of reds and oranges here, so it's very much about the lower chakra energies. We have fire and ice here, which is the cold of the feminine and the passion of the masculine. And balancing that, being gentle, very light to the touch. And for the feminine to be open to, you know, herself, allow her sensuality. But these are all about going into the vortex, into the center of the cyclone. And I'm getting the fallopian tubes as well, so there'll definitely be some pregnancies coming up. I'm seeing music notes too. So birth of new music, conception, making a choice. Free yourself. The choice is yours. Alright, that's pretty much what I'm getting right now. Sorry, I'm just not, I'm more drained since I, you know, spent hours doing this already. Now I had to redo it. But I got you something. I'm going to read you Sweet Soul Rising, which is number 20. 20 says, you may feel lost in your own thoughts and feelings. This is the sweetness of surrender into another world. It's a time to dream, to wonder, to not be clear and sharp right at this precise moment. Still can't talk. If you have a clear plan, let it become soft and feel your heart open to allowing whatever may be. We might believe that it is through tough action and dynamic assertiveness that we make our way through the world. Yet sometimes the sweetness of the soul rises, and instead we can flow gently with the currents of the cosmic ocean. Unsure of where we're headed, but safe in the truth that all waters naturally return to the ocean, where they are all wanting to go eventually anyway. You can use your own efforts to swim to your destination against the current at times, or you can float on the sweet love of your own soul as it enjoys the privilege of getting to know itself as one with the divine. This oracle brings you guidance now. Surrender and flow. This is not the time to assert your will and try to make things happen, no matter how much you may want to believe that you should. There's something bigger happening, and everything is going to turn out perfectly according to a far larger plan that includes your well-being too, beloved. Sometimes we have to let go of our expectations about how that bigger plan will be achieved and just let it happen, trusting that it will actually take place even without us striving to make it so. This is one of those times. With innocence I share my heart, a smile expressing with a tear, sweet words and feelings that impart everything I hold dear. The promise of a blossom high, the air is bathed in fragrant scent. To reach the sun, you have to fly. Desires well with love that's meant. To wait for heaven's soft embrace, a fruit so firm and succulent, God's promise must remain so chaste, while passion's glow is slowly spent. Such patience born with time's insight, my soul doth burn in embers light, and savors fresh and moist and ripe, the gift of love when it is just right. Okay? So I'll show you the pics. Let's see what we have here. This picture, these cards came up in the shuffle. Alright, so I thought you might want to see them. That's the only time the lovers came up, but that's a really nice combination right there. And then, let me move this out of the way a little bit. This is the basic read here. Okay, and then we have the full read. All the cards. It's a little hard to see, but okay. Alright, I gotta go. I have to go rest. Make sure you drink your water and get your rest, and just stay neutral. Remember to stay present in each moment so you're always prepared, because you know not to react to situations, not to get defensive around justice issues, to stay neutral in the situation and walk away if you need to, okay? Rise and be loved, guys. Love you. Bye.